And welcome back, Professor Almeida, COSA 1, COSA 601. Happy Thursday, everyone. And in this video, I want to talk to you about week 3, which starts on Monday, February 17th. But as usual, I want to begin with some housekeeping items, starting with the Canvas course chat. I will be there later this morning from 9 until noon Pacific time if you have questions for me. Remember that the chat is public, so keep private things private. You can also message me through the Canvas inbox. And if you message me during student office hours, I will more than likely get back to you right away. But as usual, I will have multiple chat tabs open. If I don't see your post right away, it's either because I'm helping someone else or I momentarily stepped away from the computer. But I do want to begin with President's Day weekend. As you can see here, tomorrow, that is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the campus will be closed. So if you need to get support with the class, don't wait until this weekend. Okay, that also includes COS tech support, student tech help desk. They're not going to be around tomorrow, which is Friday, or on Monday. And speaking of Monday, for my Monday, Wednesday folks, we're not going to have a class meeting on Monday. I'll get into that more later on in the video. So do keep this in mind, especially if you need to get help with the materials in COSA 1 or COSA 601. So again, the campus will be closed Friday through Monday. So don't wait until the last minute to get support. And speaking of support, by the way, you can get to these pages from our Canvas class homepage, from the second page of the syllabus, or the campus resources page in your welcome module. These are the hours for the COS computer labs, M229 and AA206. Monday, Wednesday, folks, you should be familiar with M229. We were there on the first day of class. And also, this is where I have my in-person student office hours on Mondays. So if you need to see me in person, make sure you drop by M229, but not this Monday because it is President's Day weekend. If you need to get support with LBCC Tech, and that includes the Viking portal, if you end up getting locked out of the Viking portal, which I hope that this is not the case anymore, right? If you're in doubt, just reset your password. Don't get yourself locked out. So if you do end up getting locked out of the Viking portal, or if you need assistance with LBCC Tech, even if it's installing Microsoft 365 on your laptop, these are the folks to reach out to. Here is their contact information and their hours. But again, hopefully you don't get locked out of the Viking portal on Friday through the weekend and into Monday, okay? Because there will be no one to help you. If you are in the online COSA 1 section, do check out these resources, especially if you are new to online learning. And even if you're in my Monday, Wednesday, COSA 1 and 601, check these resources out. You do have Quest for Online Student Success. Be sure to check that out on your own time. And then finally, if you need to get tutoring for the class, you can do that through the Multidisciplinary Success Center. Be sure to read through their policies and procedures. Here is the schedule. This does change from time to time, so be sure to check back. So here's COSA 1 at LAC, and then here's tutoring online. Okay, so again, the schedule does change, so be sure to check back. All right, let's recap what we've been doing this week so far. So we're still in week 2 here. Hopefully you've had a chance to get started, especially online folks. If you haven't started on the material, now would be a good time to do that. So you've learned how to get around in Microsoft Word. Chapter 1 gave you the basics, and then in Chapter 2, we learned some basic formatting techniques with text. So online folks, you have your Chapter 1 training, you have your Skill Review 1.1, and then you go through to Chapter 2, and then Skill Review 2.1, and then you have the quiz for Chapters 1 and 2. Monday, Wednesday, folks, we walked through Skill Review 1.1 together in class, and then you had your Chapter 1 training in your downtime, and then yesterday we went over Skill Review 2.1, and then in your downtime, you had your Chapter 2 training and your Chapter 1 and 2 quiz. Remember, whatever you don't finish in class becomes your homework. You also have these walkthrough videos, so be sure to go watch them, especially if you get stuck with the skill reviews. I want to take a moment to talk about the quiz here. This is just like the Windows and Office Essential Skills quiz. There are 10 questions and you have 2 attempts. You don't want to start the quiz until you're absolutely sure that you've blocked out enough time, because if you back out of the quiz, you will end up losing your attempts. And you do have to check a box that you have read this and you agree. So you might get questions like this, very similar to Let Me Try. And if you want to get an overview of all of your quiz questions, okay, this is what the current test bank has. So you might not get the same 10 questions. Okay, it's a very large test bank and 10 questions are chose at random. So you might get something like this. Okay, you might get a question like this, but again, do not hit back or refresh the page, because if you do, here's what happens. You end up losing your attempt. Okay, and if you're using Chrome or Edge, you might get a warning saying, hey, you sure you want to do this? Now, let's say you've finished up with question 10. Okay, let's say you're done with question 10. When you finish question 10, it's going to take you back to question 1. Okay, you can also go back, check it over again, and then cancel out if you answered all the questions, and don't forget to submit. Okay, but if you click back or if you reload the page, you just lost your attempt. Okay, so let me show you. This is your warning here. Don't do this. Right? See, now you've just lost your attempts. Okay, so be careful with that. And no, I'm not going to reset your attempts. So you've been warned. Finally, success check-in. Now, for those of you on the 14-day courtesy access, chances are your access is going to run out this weekend, and you will need to purchase access to SimNet for the remainder of the course. Let me show you again the ways to pay for access. The easiest way to do this, and if you click on McGraw-Hill SimNet over here, the easiest way to do this is to go to your name here, and under Products tab, you can purchase access directly in SimNet for about $50 plus tax. Or if you prefer, you can go to the LBCC bookstore before President's Day weekend and buy an access card. And then you scratch off the code, you input the code here, and then you click Add My Code. Once you do that, whether it's purchasing directly in SimNet or getting the access card with the code, you will be good for the rest of the term. You will need to check in with me to let me know that you either have or will be purchasing access to SimNet. And by doing this, you will unlock week 3 when Monday the 17th rolls around. Now, this forum is going to close Sunday night, and after Sunday night, you won't be able to post. It will become read-only. But if you don't check in with me, week 3 will stay grayed out until you view the forum. Now, if you don't check in with me and you do manage to unlock week 3 by visiting the forum, I'm going to assume and trust that you have purchased access to SimNet. Now, if you're already finished with week 2 and you've already checked in, sorry, you'll need to wait until Monday, February 17th. Check the front page of the syllabus for details on that. Remember that 2 weeks open at a time, so you'll have access to both week 3 and week 4 starting on Monday. All right, let's talk about the game plan for week 3. So, we're going to be wrapping up Microsoft Word for the time being. Chapter 3 will look into working with documents, and then Chapter 4 gets into pictures, tables, and charts. So, online folks, as usual, you're going to go through the Chapter 3 training, Skill Review 3.2, Chapter 4 training, Skill Review 4.2, and then your Chapter 3 and 4 quiz. Monday, Wednesday, folks, because we don't have class on Monday, you will still be responsible for Chapter 3. So be sure to watch the walkthrough on Skill Review 3.2 and follow along. You will be on your own for Skill Review 3.2. Now, because you're going to be working from home, if you need to install Microsoft 365, let me show you real quick here. You can see that I have Windows 11 running on my system here. and I have Microsoft 365 installed. So I have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, Outlook. So I have everything. So you have full access to this as a registered LBCC student. It's a free subscription as long as you're registered. But to install Microsoft 365, you want to click on the Microsoft 365 button in your Viking portal or go to office.com. You're going to log in with your student ID at lbcc.edu. Again, details are in the syllabus. Here at the dashboard, you will see install and more. Choose install Microsoft 365 apps, and then from there, install Office. You'll see the installer download. Double click on the installer, follow the prompt to complete installation. Now, real quick, Mac users. Macs are not supported in this class. And while I'm not going to stop you from working on a Mac with your projects, just don't expect any kind of support. If you haven't noticed, your training sims and your quizzes are based on the Windows version of Microsoft 365, and things are that different. But if you want to download Microsoft 365 for your other classes and you're on a Mac, you should still see the same install and more button. You should still see this button here, and feel free to use Microsoft 365. One last thing. When you are working on your projects, before turning in your project for grading, take a moment to check where you saved your project file to. Now, if you turn autosave on, make sure it's your LBCC OneDrive account. You can also pull down this title bar to see where your project file is saved to. So here's the name of the Word document I have open. Here's where it's located. And again, it should be your LBCC OneDrive, or maybe you're saving the file locally, right? Might be in your downloads folder. But if you are saving to OneDrive, right, you've turned on autosave, you also need to take a moment and make sure that you are also signed in to your LBCC OneDrive down here in the system tray. That way you can find your file in the Windows File Explorer, and you're also not making the mistake of turning in the wrong file. Now, Monday, Wednesday, folks, I demonstrated this to you this past Monday on what happens when you turn in the wrong file. And you do get 3 attempts at the project, and your final score is the best of 3. And with all of that, good luck out there. Let's make sure that we are staying on top of things. I will be watching for participation closely during week 3, whether it's showing up to class or working on the assignments. Okay, your Word assignments will all be due together next Sunday. And again, I'm going to be watching for participation. If you don't turn anything in by next Sunday, you may be at risk of being withdrawn from the course. And I will send out online engagement concerns to my online folks if you haven't been logging in. And my Monday, Wednesday folks, if you haven't been showing up to class, I already sent out attendance concerns, but I will be watching for participation closely. And with that, I will see you in the Canvas course chat in a few minutes. Again, 9 till noon Pacific time. Take care of yourselves out there. Enjoy this weekend, and we'll talk again soon.